Welcome back. We are back after a little break in the action. It is the Yins Betcha podcast. As always, next to me is Kevin. What's up?
What's up? I feel like we haven't been doing this for 3 months.
Yeah, it feels forever. We took a week off just because there wasn't as much football going on.
There's no football going on.
Yeah, it's
games.
We are slowing down, partner. It is we've made it to that time of year where we were kind of scared of when we would hit it. So it'll be interesting to see how the show goes and how we can keep it rolling. I think we got a lot of good topics. Sports is always evolving and always moving, so there's always a little stuff to talk about, which is a good thing. But yeah, we're back. It's good to be back. We got some games to talk about. NFC Championship game, AFC Championship game. We're going to go through all of those conference games. And then we will talk about the Super Bowl. And we also have some other topics other than football for this week, too, to talk about. So, without further ado.
Well, let's
talk about the
NFC Championship.
All right.
I took notes. I did take notes this time because I knew we were going to have a little bit of a layoff. And I was like, and before we got on, we joked like, what the hell was the final score?
Yeah, I don't even remember now.
We had to look them up because we couldn't remember. So,
yeah.
I wrote down here, Washington, man, an opening drive of 18 plays. They converted two fourth downs, but only got a field goal. And I remember thinking, man, it's a little bit of a letdown, but maybe that's still demoralizing to an opponent on the road. They held the ball for 9 minutes, whatever it was. But then how did the Eagles respond? One play.
One play.
The kick goes out of bounds. They get the ball to 40. Hand it off to Saquon Barkley.
Gone.
Touchdown. So immediately it was like you felt like, okay, the Commanders had a good start.
Yeah.
And set all this momentum, and in one play, it evaporated.
It was gone.
And then, to top it off, the very next drive for Washington, they had their first turnover of the playoffs. So, and we talked about, a lot of times when these teams are equal, it comes down to turnovers, right?
Yeah.
And the most interesting thing that I thought really stood out about the 4 teams that were left going into the championship Sunday was none of those 4 teams had a turnover in their first 2 rounds. 0 turnovers from the 4 teams that were left. So that really equaled success.
Damn.
And, to have that opening drive, but then give up the long touchdown in one play.
Yeah.
And then the Commanders come out and turn it over. And then, boom, the Eagles are quickly up 14-3. So just the route was kind of on from there. Now, Washington did, make a valiant effort to come back.
At least in that second quarter. They scored 12. They're trying to bring it back around.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Hurts and Barkley both scoring 3 touchdowns, what are you going to do?
Right.
It's really interesting the way this team can excel in these certain moments and the way that they can run the ball. Yeah. Of course, we already know about the tush push and everything else, but now you add Saquon. And now the guys in New York are just shaking their heads, and they never wanted to see this day, and now we're here for the Eagles Super Bowl again.
And definitely more on the brotherly shove. There was an interesting sequence in that game that we'll get to. I want to try to chronologically get the game in order just so I can kind of follow the notes. But so after the Eagles went up 14-3, Washington looked like they were about to punt for only the second time in the entire postseason after going the first 2 games with 1 punt total, which is crazy. They faked it, and they got it. It was a beautiful fake.
Yeah, that's right.
Ballsy, to be down 11.
Yeah.
I believe it was 4th and long.
It was long, and it was on the other side of the 50.
On the other side of the 50, way under the side.
Yeah.
I think the punter was standing right around 25, 30-yard line.
So
they converted it, only ended up with a field goal, but that kept them in the game, only down 14-6.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles came down, and Elliott missed a field goal for the first time in his playoff career. Washington was able to get it back. But then they ended up going 3 and out. So now, and again, we talked about this, the week prior with the chasing the score so early.
Yeah.
And I think this was critical. They fell behind, and they were down 14-6. The Commanders get a touchdown, and they go for 2 already. And again, I get it. It ties the game in the moment, right?
Yeah.
But you're in the second quarter. There's so much football to be played. That I thought, again, I feel like, if you make it great, then you look like a genius. But when you miss it, it pumps up the other team. The Commanders have scored 2 straight times. Sometimes I feel like you got to cash in on that momentum and just take what they're giving you.
Yeah.
I think it's way too early to have chased the score there. But they go for 2, they don't make it. And then Philadelphia went 4th and 5. at midfield, they got a huge pass to A.J. Brown right at the 2-minute warning, and that kind of ended up leading to another score. How about Brown and Lattimore? Do you remember? I don't know if you recall their little scuffle at the end of the first half there.
Yes.
Brown was definitely Lattimore's head.
Yeah.
They did finally, and again, this kind of led up to what Washington did in the second half. But the Commanders did a good job stuffing the brotherly shove.
They did well. Then they jumped off sides 3 times, and then
that was actually later.
That was later
on in the third quarter. They actually did stop it in the first half.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Eagles end up getting in. They went up 20-12 on a second attempt at the brotherly shove, and then Washington fumbles the fucking kickoff, and then boom, they get another touchdown. So now you're up 27-12. So that just kind of definitely changed the momentum there. This game ended up being, for the first time since 2003, no punts in the first half.
Damn.
Again, Washington lined up for one, but they faked it.
Yeah.
And got it. So, yeah, no punts in the first half for the first time.
Man.
Since 2003. So, it's been crazy how efficient teams have been lately. There's been long, sustained drives, and, it's kind of crazy. But speaking of the Washington jumping offside, now Lulu, he was all everywhere. He was kind of reminding me of Polamalu in the first half.
Polamalu, through the sea gap.
But then the jumping, oh my God, it was hilarious. And it did provide comic relief, just because you could tell that the Eagles obviously were taking control. They were going to win the game. It was over at that point. So it was funny to hear the refs come out, literally.
I'll literally give them a touchdown.
We're going to give them a touchdown if you don't
give you a touchdown.
So, but the reality is, the brotherly shove is so hard to stop. Maybe it was worth it.
It probably was.
You know what I mean? They're going to score anyway.
Right.
Maybe you time it right and force a fumble or whatever.
Yeah.
It might be the defense that you have to do on this play.
Right. That's exactly like you said. Polamalu would jump over the top and block a field goal or whatever else had to happen during the game. Polamalu did that, and it seemed like that was what needed to happen there. And to keep doing it, I mean, you got to move it 3 inches every time? Just keep trying to keep stopping them then.
Yep.
And then, he came on the mic and said, "He's going to give you a touchdown." I mean, that is just... I don't even know if he has the authority to do that.
I don't know.
They don't even think he does.
Yeah.
They're just trying to scare him. They're just trying to scare him. That's crazy.
But at the end of the day, just like every other playoff game, turnovers. Came down to turnovers.
Yeah. Jaden Daniels had
4.
Yeah.
Eagles at 0. So Philadelphia goes into the Super Bowl with not a single turnover
at all, right?
Season.
Yeah.
So again, this proved to be the key stat all year for all three teams. When the turnovers about it, because there is so much parity in the league, and anybody can beat anybody on any given Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hang on to the football, and you've got a team like they do, because they've got a great defensive line, especially with only a 4-man rush, you got a great offensive line. If you do all that and you don't make mistakes, they're really hard to beat.
Yeah, they did it. Everything right. Everything was right in that game for the Eagles.
And I had that gut feeling. I predicted I was way off on the score. I think I had 31-7. I thought I was going to go under, and hell, the Eagles went over by themselves.
Yeah, it was 70.
55 points which was a new conference championship game record.
Damn.
So,
is there a chance that they? I mean, we'll get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we'll get to the Super Bowl.
But I mean, dude, great team.
Yeah,
great team.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's a great team.
I just don't think and again, it's why I picked Philly. I didn't want them to win. I definitely don't like the Eagles, but I think the Commanders are. They peaked and they definitely overachieved. I didn't have them winning any games.
Right.
Going into the playoffs, I thought Tampa would beat them in the first round, but 2 wins on a road, especially against probably the proverbial favorite in Detroit. So, so I think Daniels is the real deal. Commanders are going to be tough for years to come.
Watch out for them next year.
Yeah.
For real. Yeah, I mean, like you said, years to come for them. I think with the right additions everywhere else, I mean, they're going to be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Really good team. I'm excited. I want to see Washington win one. I really do. I think that they should go back to the Redskins. I think they're talking about it.
They already shut that down.
They did shut it down?
There was a story last week.
Yeah.
That came out, so a little disappointing. At the very least, I'd have been good with staying with the football team. Then because they kept the same color scheme, I was fine with that.
Yeah.
Like if you're insulted by the Redskins name, whatever, just dropping that and ending it, whatever. Another rumor that's floating around is maybe they at least bring back the logo and put that on the helmet. Okay, like that would be a step in the right direction. But then I would still have a problem with them being called the Commanders. Like, they probably, if they were going to do a new nickname, then maybe you could have done the Warriors or something, something that would make a little bit more sense if you're going to potentially put the logo back on the helmet. But
at least don't make it. Yeah, I would love to see the logo again. Just if the name can't work, the name can't work. Put the logo back on it. Yeah. I want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to add from the NFC Championship?
No, Saquon's really good. So is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
AJ Brown keeps reading
running backs being a dime a dozen. Huh?
Yeah, really.
Like if you got a stud, you got a stud.
I mean, I think you're going to have like a top 2 running back in the league every year, and if it's one of those two, I mean, go after it. Yeah, it's awesome. If AJ Brown keeps reading books on the sideline, I don't think we may not lose next week. I don't know, or this Sunday. So. But yeah, that's it. That's it.
So Chiefs Bills, Kansas City, another nail-biting game for them.
Yeah.
It was the first time all year they scored 30 points.
I mean, they had to do it to win, and they did it. So, yeah.
Man, the takeaways I had here, the first 2 passes that Josh Allen threw, both should have been picked.
Yeah. That first drive.
Like he had some jitters.
Yeah.
Definitely to start. And in Kansas City takes their opening drive, goes 90 plays, 90 yards. And Buffalo was down for the 3rd straight playoff game, 7-0. So I thought maybe, okay, that's a good omen for them. They trailed 7-0 in the first 2 games of the playoffs, came back and won. So when Buffalo got the ball back, they were only able to get a field goal. And then for the first time since week 11, Kansas City turns the football over. First time.
First time.
Which leads to a Buffalo touchdown, so they go up 10-7.
Yeah.
I thought it was a gutsy call for Kansas City to go for it on 4th down on their own 39, especially after the 2 plays before that, they ran it and got nothing. You know, and sometimes that, if I was a coach, like the decision I would make is, what have I done in the plays leading up to that play? And if I would have got nothing, I probably would have been like, okay,
yeah,
like we're stalling here. But like, if you're telling me I'm getting 3 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards, now it's 4th down, I like the momentum that we're doing moving forward.
Right.
So it was a gutsy call. They got it. Ends up leading to a touchdown, and then huge drive by Buffalo at the end of the half. And then I really here took points off the board, but I don't know what the fuck happened. I have no idea what happened there. I can't remember why I wrote that. This is the bad thing about doing it a week and a half later.
Yeah, it's hard.
What the fuck happened?
It is hard.
But yeah, so anyway, anything to add from the first half?
No.
Do you remember anything?
No. At this point, when you just said that, I'm like, "What are you saying? What is that?" No, so I don't. The Josh Allen is you just can't. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he was jittery to start. Yeah. There's just, of course, and then they have the interception that led to the turnover that led to the touchdown. From the first half, I just think that like if Josh Allen could have started any better than what he did.
Yeah,
I mean, any ounce of better, he would have just. That's what it took, because this game got so back and forth, and it just came down to the wire. And I knew that you gave. We'll get to the second half, but you gave Pat Mahomes 2 minutes, and you can't do that. So yeah.
I think what it was. I think Buffalo, if I'm not mistaken, Buffalo got a touchdown. It was a penalty on the extra point. After Buffalo kicked the extra point, they took it off and went for 2 and didn't get it.
They didn't get it. Yeah, the second quarter, it was 14-13.
Yes, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. But the other thing I wrote on here too, so one little undersung thing that happened was with Brentford, who was questionable going into the game for Buffalo, the corner, ended up not being able to finish. Elam came in, and he got picked on. Like Mahomes definitely went after him. That was a big thing. I think if Brentford was completely healthy, maybe it's a totally different, especially in a 3-point game. Definitely may have played out differently.
Right.
And then again, so Buffalo trailed at the half, and then a 12-play, 80-yard drive. Coming out of the second half, got a 4th and goal touchdown, and then we did it again. Just like we talked about the first game. They go for two. To go up 3, I get the math, but we're early in the third, right? And just take the fucking extra point. So that was twice that they took points off the board. And if you just kick extra points, then you're up 24-21 anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like the chasing of the score, you got to stop.
You got to stop. I mean? Yeah. Like I think in this playoff show that you need to slow it. Like let's just maybe just take the extra point. Just take the extra point.
Just take the extra point.
Yeah.
So, and then the fourth quarter. So Buffalo's up 29-22, right? Or no. Kansas. It was 22-21 Buffalo. Buffalo has football. Josh Allen, 4th down. It looks like he has the first down.
Oh, that play.
And so you see both the line judges come in. The one up, I think it was the one up top came in. Clearly looks like he was marking first down. The other one at the bottom, not so much. And then the guy that was up top literally like moved in to follow the other guy, and they kind of respot the football.
We're still using eyes and chains to determine the first down.
Why? We can put chips in anything.
Is the chips in anything?
So
in anything. Put it in the ball, man. Put it in the ball. I don't know. It just feels like how are we still using eyeballs and chains there?
I don't know.
It is. We are so far advanced. I mean, I don't want to take away from the old school football. I love football and the way it is played today. I really do.
And it's another thing. I get the argument of, when it's close, you got to go with the call on the field. But the problem was, even before they made an official call, you had a line judge that was clearly in an area that had a better view, showing it's a first down.
Right.
Okay? And then you decide, no, I'm going to call it that they stopped them, and then we're going to look at it.
Yeah.
So yes, once the call on the field is official one way or the other, I admit it's tough to say unequivocally that it should go the other way.
Right.
But it looked like they were marking first down in the first place.
Yes, right.
So and this is, the conspiracy theories fly around with Kansas City, and this is the reason why. Like, I mean, and you know what? I remember before this Chiefs dynasty started, Mahomes' first year, he got into the AFC Championship game at home, had the game at home, and Tom Brady New England.
Tom Brady beat,
and there were some questionable things in that game that went the Patriots' way. Because they're the legacy, they're the dynasty, they're the team that have earned these calls. This is why I didn't like the fucking NBA in the 90s. Because Jordan and the Bulls did the same thing. Like, they got the benefit of the doubt. And great teams do that. Like, they earn it. Like, I totally get all that. And I hope someday that my teams are that way, right?
Yeah.
And get these calls,
Yeah.
But it's frustrating. It really is. And all it does is add to the narrative that's already out there.
Yeah. I feel like they know they can get away with stuff. I feel like they know Pat Mahomes knows he can get away with stuff. They call stuff that, I don't think that they deserve.
Yeah.
But you're right. They've earned it. They wanted this is money for the NFL when Pat Mahomes wins, so they're gonna make it do it. Yeah. Vegas probably called. Probably a lot of people had bills like me.
Well, and you know what? If that was, if they get that first down, they had momentum and made them go down and extend that lead that they already have. And who knows what happens? But turnover and downs happens. Chiefs go 60 yards. They take a 29-22 lead. Yeah. After getting the touchdown and 2-point conversion, which by then, late fourth quarter, extend that lead to 7, make them, at best tie it, which is what they did. Buffalo went back down. To their credit, they could have let that call, get in their heads and ruin it. They go down the field. They convert a 4th and goal. Yeah. With a touchdown to Samuels, ties the game with about 6 minutes to go. And then the Chiefs go back down, get the field goal, take a 32-29 lead. And then that desperate pass that Allen made, which it was the only thing he could do.
That was the only thing he could do. But that flag that they threw was going to be if Kincaid caught that ball, it was coming back. I already know it. I know it. They threw it because they knew that they could potentially. He was about to catch it by the tip of his fingers. He didn't catch it, and they threw a flag because they were going to bring it back if he caught it.
What was the call? What was the call?
They just said no penalty.
There ended up being no penalty.
No penalty.
But we don't know.
But I guarantee you they would have said Dalton pushed off or did something offensive, PI, something like that. It was going to come back.
I actually didn't hear. I must have missed that somehow, but I think I was fixated on the catch because I couldn't believe he had the attempt that he did, and it really was right through his arms.
It was. It was.
Yeah. And I don't know if you caught this. So you would have had to been looking for it because I even rewound it to make sure I wasn't crazy. When Kansas City was running out the clock, they needed a first down. Maybe it was 2. I can't remember. I can't remember the timeouts Buffalo had. Mm-hmm. But P. Ryan gets a first down that seals the deal.
Oh, that.
And then so he went out of bounds. And the CBS crew, with Matt Ryan, James Brown, Cowher, Burleson, I think it's the 4. The looks on their faces when P. Ryan completes that first down, they were so fucking disappointed. You could see it in his face.
Right.
That, it's not what they wanted. They want to see maybe
just someone new
for Buffalo to win, but maybe they wanted to see drama, right?
Right.
And it was so funny to see how disappointed they looked.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. You cannot, if you're the Bills, cannot let all of those runs happen. You literally let them, and then they throw on third down. You let them get that too. You can't let.
Yeah,
that was so bad. That 2-minute offense for them.
Great teams win, man. They just find a way to fucking win. Winning's contagious. I truly believe that. Andy Reid's a great coach, and that's the combination you have right now. You got the best coach in the NFL and the best quarterback in the NFL on the same team, and it might not even be the 2 best attributes about that team. Their defense, to me, is highly underrated.
Yeah,
and the fact again, we made a point that. Up until this game, they didn't score 30 points the entire fucking season.
Right.
And then we lost 1 game.
Yeah.
Really 1 game. Because again, the Denver game, I don't count they didn't play anybody. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, they're good. They're legit.
Annoying.
It is annoying. At this point, again, I don't, they're a family team. They're my second favorite team. I've always said that. The fact that they're playing Philadelphia, I'm going to fucking root for them against Sunday. Because I can't stand the Eagles either. But, and that might have been like the only NFC team, and maybe the Lions. I may have gotten annoyed enough by the Lions having gone to Detroit for that big game that I probably still would have rooted for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think it's why once we got to the championship games, I'm like I want Washington to win, even though I'm mad at them for changing the name. There's just and that's the thing. The Vikings are in the NFC, so it's harder for me to have soft spots for NFC teams because I see them enough that I've learned to hate all of them for different reasons. For the most part, Atlanta was a team that I kind of always, I guess, had a soft spot for, and then they kind of ruined that '98 when they beat Minnesota.
Right.
But I love Dion, and I'm like, okay, I'm okay with the Falcons, and that NFC Championship game has been so long now that I'm back to I don't completely hate the Falcons. They'd be a team that I'd be okay getting back to the Super Bowl. But yeah, it's I kind of root for Kansas City, And even I was getting tired of. I was always a Tom Brady fan, but even I was a little annoyed when he kept coming back and back. I'm like, damn it, because I did root for the Chiefs when they played them. Last year that Brady was in New England.
Oh right.
And then I was super pumped when Brady took Tampa Bay, just because to me I was tired of the whole, why are the Patriots good? Is it Belichick or Brady? And I didn't like the people in the Belichick camp. I do think it was a combination of both, but look what Belichick did without Brady.
Nothing. Yeah.
And Tom goes to a franchise that is perpetually a loser and wins Super Bowl in the first fucking year. It didn't take him 5 years. First year at 42, 33 years old.
Yeah,
that's insane.
I overlooked that a lot. Actually, I should be thinking about that a lot more of how I view the greatest of all time right now. Which if I thought to myself, if Pat wins another,
and he's the only one that's beaten Patrick Mahomes right now.
Right.
So think about that.
Another great point.
Yeah.
Another great point. I have to really rethink that because right now it was always Aaron Rodgers for me that was the greatest athletically that I've seen. It was Favre, then it was Art Rodgers, but athletically and who could win, it's Mahomes right now. Yeah. And that's how I was thinking about it. But the way Brady did that with Bucks.
The thing Mahomes has done is he's adjusted his game too. He just does what it takes to win.
Right.
He was slinging it around when he first started.
Yeah.
And we always think about him with the ridiculous no-look passes, the sidearm shit.
Yeah.
But he's using his head, and he's running and taking off and getting the first down when he needs to, and just making smart decisions. Like I said, Kansas City had the turnover against Buffalo, but that was the first one since week 11. These are the things that why they don't lose.
Yeah.
Spagnuolo is not a big blitzer, but he does it at the right time.
Right.
And he did it against Buffalo. When he needed it, he sent it. And their defense is really, really good. So they're just you can't help but envy it,
Right.
And now they're at this point, they're playing Philadelphia. I guess I want to see history now. Might as well.
Mm-hmm.
We've never seen 3 in a row.
Yeah.
We might as well see it.
I guess. Yeah. I also think that the NFL is not going to allow that. I don't know if anything.
You think? Well, I mean, we'll get to our Super Bowl pick.
Oh, I know who's winning this game.
Okay. All right.
I know.
I can't wait to hear it. So, but Mahomes is what, 29? That's the right age.
I saw he's higher 20. Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's on his 30s yet.
Yeah.
He has more wins than Joe Montana.
That is insane.
Wow.
That's why I'm thinking he's like, if he wins this one, like, I know, like you said though with Bucks and Tom, I didn't think of like a whole lot about that. Like the first year, terrible team, then was a Super Bowl. I mean, that is awesome. That's great. Great
of all
time.
Well, now Belichick was on a podcast talking about they should rename the Lombardi Trophy the Brady Trophy, and I remember thinking or saying something like that. It might have been before he won in Tampa.
Yeah.
But definitely after the Tampa one, I'm like, this is now his game.
I mean, it is. The NFL is
more than Lombardi's is, and I'm like, maybe they should. But you know what? The reason I wouldn't do that is because we might have to see how many fucking Mahomes wins.
Right.
Like, I mean,
right.
I never would have thought 7 would be doable.
Yeah.
And this time of a bitch might win his 4th.
We're seeing like a Michael Jordan era of football from Pat Mahomes right now. If they do 3 in a row, Mike did 3 in a row, did 3 in a row again. He took a break, like Mahomes. So you want to go play basketball or something? Take a break, then go, and then go play football again. Like this is the stuff we're seeing from this guy.
Pat Riley's making money, by the way, if the Chiefs do win.
Yeah, 3-peat.
He copyrighted
3-peat. Pat Riley is a stud too. It's just insane. It's insane to think about what he's doing, how he's done it, on the level he's playing. Yeah. I mean, the Brady Trophy it just feels gross and weird, but like maybe you're right. And he has won 7 of them.
Well, I mean, you know what? I'd be okay with like I don't know. Does the Super Bowl MVP have a name moniker to it, like the NBA trophy does? The MVP? I don't think it does.
I don't think.
Like, so you can maybe do something like that.
Yeah.
The Tom Brady Super Bowl MVP award goes.
You probably should, because that's what Bill Russell has the MVP for NBA.
Yeah.
So I mean, you probably should.
You can always update it if Mahomes passes him, But yeah, so that win on Sunday or 2 Sundays ago. Mahomes passed Montana for 2nd all time in playoff wins with 17.
That is insane.
And he's not even halfway to Tom Brady yet. Isn't that crazy? Brady's got 35. 35 playoff wins.
What?
Crazy to think about. Think about how many quarterbacks that get drafted even in the first round and they're going to have 35 career wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Crazy to think about.
Wow.
The only other NFL news, I guess, I mean, obviously, any thoughts on any of the coaching hires?
Yeah, Pete Carroll being as old as he is, coming in, Raider Nation, going to get interesting over there.
So, fun fact.
Going to get interesting.
So, Aaron Glenn, obviously defensive coordinator for Lions, goes over to the Jets, which was the team that drafted him. In 1994, in the first round.
Yeah.
It was the first ever draft pick by the head coach of the New York Jets. It was Pete Carroll.
That is crazy.
Isn't that kind of cool?
Yeah, that is full circle.
They both get hired, back in the league first. Yeah. Glenn gets his first head coaching job and Carroll comes back.
Yeah. I will say this feels also, though, for the Bears organization, I know you probably don't want to hear this or like it. Maybe it's better than the Lions, though. It's just with Ben Johnson now, the hype they had even last year, bringing these guys in, bringing in, everyone they did, the drafting, to now have a guy like this who has created an offense in the Lions that made it a long way, didn't beat the Commanders, whatever, but the hype is all around them again.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they necessarily deserve it, but I remember last year thinking to myself, like, I can't wait to watch the Bears this year. And they didn't have a coach like this. Like, they had Eberflus. Like, come on. And now they have Ben Johnson. It could get really interesting. I don't know how good Caleb's actually going to be in his career. But, like, if it's not now, I wonder what's it going to look like next year. Is my biggest thing. I really am high on them next year. I think that they need to at least be, like, I don't know what they need next year. You need to see some wins with the Bears organization, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. That's all you can actually ask for. But yeah, I'm actually excited again to watch them. And I shouldn't be, because I think I'm just gonna get let down. But yeah, Ben Johnson, man, I like him a lot.
I remember them being excited about Matt Nagy. Coming from Kansas City, and that didn't work out. So
But they made the NFC Championship game with him, right?
They definitely got to prove it.
Yeah. When was it? What year was the NFC? That was against the Eagles. No.
I don't think Nagy. I think.
Who was that?
I think Love was still there.
Oh wow.
I think.
That was. Man,
I remember Nagy,
that was an eternity
ago. I think Nagy got
ago.
in the playoffs for a year, but that was when they missed the. They lost in the first round because they missed the field goal.
Oh right.
Against the Eagles. I remember.
Oh, that was probably the game I'm thinking
being
of.
Pissed because the week before, the motherfuckers were locked into the seed that they had, and they played everybody against the fucking Vikings, and the Vikings needed. And again, Minnesota needs to take care of their own business, and I realize that. But there's so many teams that normally would have took the pedal off, foot off the pedal, or not played everybody, and played everybody, and beat us. So I was so happy that they landed. It was the Eagles. I fucking rooted for Philly to beat them. But they literally lost, to the Eagles. So I was like, yeah, good for them for, fucking playing everybody for no reason. Karma. So, but yeah, I think that was it. I don't think he made any kind of long run. With them. I don't think they've been NFC Championship for.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's probably the game because that was the year the Eagles won, though, right? The Super Bowl.
No,
was that Wentz's year?
It was the year after they won the Super Bowl. It was like 18 or 19.
Damn, that time frame is so crazy to me. Yeah.
It's because you weren't drinking a lot.
No. I wasn't even of age. I didn't even have my first drink until 21, dude.
Right.
For the viewers on the show.
Yeah,
But, so those two, Pete Carroll will be very interesting. I don't know how much he has left in the tank, but he knows how to coach an NFL team and do it. I don't think that he's going to – I don't know what this is, though, for the Raiders. I don't know what –
well,
it's not a future thing.
You're in a division that, the Chiefs are the Chiefs.
Right.
The Chargers are only going to get better. And Denver definitely turned it around this year as much as to my sugar.
Denver's going to be good next year.
But Denver's going to be good.
Yeah.
So
their defense is solid.
I don't know if the Raiders really get out of the cellar.
Yeah.
I'm going to surprise you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make a bold prediction. February, what's today? 7th, 6th? 7th. February 7th, I'm going to make a bold prediction.
Wow.
Right now.
Wow.
2 days before the Super Bowl. 2 days before, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag a little bit. 2 days before they probably three-peat. The Kansas City Chiefs will miss the playoffs next year.
I agree with you 100%. That team is old.
Miss the playoffs completely.
Yeah, maybe not miss the playoffs. Maybe I should reframe that.
Chargers win it. Denver finishes second.
Wow.
Somebody else beats them out for a wild card.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
They do have a lot of stuff to do.
It's going to come crashing eventually.
Right. They do have a lot to do this offseason after they're done with it, whatever they have, win or lose in this game.
I just feel like it's going to be one of those, I would never wish this but I feel like it's just going to be a year that they're going to battle, like Mahomes will get hurt or Chris Jones or something. I just feel like they're going to end up, all the good luck that they've had, it's all going to go. Because even New England went through it. Mm-hmm. New England went through it. I'm not saying after this one that they're done.
Right.
I just think there's going to be a break next year.
Yeah.
I feel like the NFL's getting a lot of heat. So if there's a little bit of that they can play into it, they are. I think you'll see some things not go their way next year.
Right.
We'll recap it. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, I think next year, they make history here. Mm-hmm. Now, God help us if they don't. If Philly wins on Sunday, maybe they're
going to come back. Yeah.
But if they get the three-peat, they're going to not ride off into the sunset.
Man.
But they're going to take a year off.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So
do you think? I don't think they're going to come back. I think it's going to be a Brady situation again. You can't beat Eli.
Well,
2 years can't do anything about it.
But there's not really a bugaboo. The only bugaboo that Mahomes really had was Brady and Burrow a little bit. He loves Burrow twice.
Dude, if they can keep all their guys,
Allen though, he owns Allen in playoffs. Doesn't in the regular season, but who gives a shit?
Right.
So
don't matter there.
Yeah. So
if another thing, I remember. I heard Joe Burrow on a podcast. If they can keep all of their players, they were trying. Cincinnati's trying to keep all of them. I don't know if they have the money to do it.
Cincinnati's going to be a lot better.
But Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Cincinnati. This could be their year to do it.
Yeah. Them and Baltimore will be the class of
yeah. I mean, the Steelers I think the Steelers could finish last next year in the North. I'm there.
Well, it depends on what the Browns do for quarterback.
But I think
I'm not willing to go that far.
I am I am on a swing for the Browns right now that I think they have so much of a better team than we do. They just had that defense is great.
Their ownership's bad though. I mean, if they actually trade Garrett,
if their atmosphere,
they might take a step down for
Garrett. If they do trade Garrett, that's a whole different story. I do think they're probably going to finish last because Garrett is such a game changer, and they're going to get a lot of first round picks for him. That's what they all want from the Browns organization. So I think they're going to set up, but it'll be interesting there too.
I'm trying to think anybody else coaching wise I don't think the Saints have actually hired anybody yet, have they?
No,
it feels like nobody wants that job.
I don't think anyone wants that job.
McCarthy took his name out of it.
Yeah.
So, definitely interesting.
Does McCarthy have a job? No, he hasn't.
No, Dallas did.
Dallas
hired. They hired within, right?
Schottenheimer. Yeah. I think that this is so interesting that I heard someone say this. He said this. Some famous person said they are going to tank. Oh, Cam Newton said this on First Take. They're going to tank this season, fire him, and draft. They're going to bring in Dion and draft someone else. I don't know.
Dion said the other day that he doesn't think he can be a pro coach.
Yeah, I think he could.
You think? I feel like he's in a good spot.
Yeah, I mean he is. I think that he needs.
I still think he'll end up at Florida State.
I think he needs to go to Florida State.
Yeah,
probably
now. The year they had. Yeah.
Right. I think he needs to leave right now. That's a great spot for him. A great spot.
Yeah,
he should get that. Yeah.
Well, let's take a quick break. A couple more headline stories that happened in the last 2 weeks. We'll go over that real quick, and then we'll get into Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. All right, sounds good. Okay, we're back. We will go into some different miscellaneous topics, right?
Sure.
Some sports, yeah. We're going to talk a little bit other than football.
So, about the 2025 class. Small one this year. The Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Hall of Fame, yeah.
Eric Allen, Jared Allen. No relation.
No relation.
Sterling Sharp.
Yep.
And
who was the other guy?
Who's the one? Oh, Antonio Gates.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's probably
the best one.
That's probably the best one, and the surefire.
Yeah.
And hey, Jared Allen, Viking. I mean, I'm pumped.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
I don't know. Watching him in my career, did I think that he was Hall of Fame material? That's what we were talking about earlier. I feel like he's in the Hall of the Very Good.
It's such you bring up a good point because it feels that way.
There's just players that just transcend the game, and you can just feel it and know it that they're different. And I'm not 100% sure he was that guy. I feel like let's take this year for instance. Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Led the NFL in sacks, 17.5. I mean, is he any different than Trey Hendrickson? Do we think Trey Hendrickson's Hall of Fame?
Not right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, I know small sample size, whatever, but it just now somebody like T.J. Watt, Watt's on his way to the Hall of Fame, right?
I think he's there.
He's probably there now.
He
could have a season or career-ending injury right now, and he's probably still going. But, But the trajectory, he changes the game,
right?
And I just don't.
Yeah.
I actually think we didn't talk about this earlier. I did mention that I think Jim Marshall should be in, but probably one of Jared Allen's teammates, in my opinion, deserves to be in over him, Kevin Williams. But
interesting, yeah.
I still I get it a little bit because he's not Jared Allen was more theatrical. He had the rope, celebration, and he walked around in cowboy boots and cowboy hats. And he was charismatic, right? And that is part of it in a way.
It is, yeah.
So you remember him, you know who he is. But Kevin Williams was a first-team All-Pro 5 times.
Those are the accolades that deserve to get into the right.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like you should have won at least one defensive MVP award.
Yeah, these are the things I need to see off your resume. I need to see 5 times. I need to see 3 times, 4 times, Super Bowl 2 times. Those are the accolades and Super Bowls are big for me, huge for me. When I get in the Hall of Fame, when I start talking about people from the Hall of Fame. Now T.J. Watt is one of those guys that I'm like, that guy just changed the game every time he was out there. So I can see him with no Super Bowls right now.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not as high on the list for me.
Yeah.
I think it separates it in certain positions. Especially quarterback, because I think you have to have a great quarterback to win it anyway, right? So, but to me, it still needs to be multiple. I mean, because Trent Dilfer's won a Super Bowl, doesn't mean he's Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
So now, if Trent Dilfer would have won 2, I don't know. Like, you got to give him some accolades for that, right?
Yeah.
Which is why I think eventually Eli will get in.
But Eli should get in. I think he should be in. Like they probably this year.
We
this year.
We got to get my brother on.
Yeah, he probably
Giants fan. He totally disagrees.
Wow.
Fucking hates Eli. Which
he won Super Bowls for him.
I know, and that to me would be enough that.
That's good with me.
Right, but he was very, very erratic.
Yeah,
he really was, and yes, both of those Super Bowls were predicated on good defenses, right?
Yeah,
but they were.
I guess
he had. I know
that throw. If he couldn't, he didn't make that throw and a catch on a helmet. If he did throw the ball,
definitely the one playoff run. I don't remember which one it was. I want to say it was the one that they won first.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had 8 or 9 touchdowns, no interceptions through the playoff.
Okay.
So he won it.
Right.
And even your boy Ben, the first Super Bowl he had, he was trash. And again, he was young.
Yeah, he was young.
He was young anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was garbage the whole fucking playoffs. And even Peyton's last one in Denver, he was shit.
Yeah, he was.
They had great defense. Both of those teams had great defense. Now Ben, the second one, he fucking won it because the defense was not what they were. They did make that huge play. Harrison. But Ben won the Super Bowl. That Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He took.
Was Santonio Holmes in the back of the end zone? I mean, he definitely did.
So
they threw.
I'm getting a little off topic, but I mean, I'm happy for him. I'm probably going to go since we live 45 minutes from Canton. I'll probably go.
Why not?
But I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not really excited about 3 of the 4.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Eric playing, and I just don't. And again, corners are tough because if you're a shutdown corner, they're not throwing to your side.
And you don't have the picks. You don't have the
But you're taking away, and a lot of times some of these good corners are taking away their best receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. I get that's why Champ Bailey's there, and Eric Allen's probably is going. But
I feel like we should do a test here. Name a mediocre quarterback from this past season. Just name I don't know. Think of one. I'm trying to think of one myself.
Trevor Lawrence is mediocre in my opinion.
Hall of Fame. In 20 years.
What?
Hall of Fame. This is what it's coming to. Is what I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to show you what it's coming to.
Because you're right. I mean,
this is the class that we have now. I'm telling you, it's not like I'm not trying to take it away from anyone. We have the Vikings got in. It's great, but they have to have people every year. I get it. Yeah. It's just the people they're adding. It's I don't know.
And I looked, so Schefter always tweets out whenever a class is announced. He always tweets out the next year. Here's the guys that are going to be eligible next year.
Yeah.
And there's a huge
list. It's 5 years, right? After you're done.
I think so. Yeah. It's a huge list, and I'm like, to me, there were 2 names that I'm like 100% definite they're in.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like everybody else was like, I'd be okay if they never got in, but I feel like 3 or 4 of those will get in next year.
Right.
And I'm like,
right.
And I don't remember the whole list. Because you know what? The only ones I remember are the 2 that are gonna get in the first ballot: Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees.
Oh,
that's it. And that to me, I'd be okay if that was a class of 2.
That should be the class of 2.
Which why
I can't believe Larry's not in yet.
I think Eli's getting in next year.
Oh, he isn't.
That, in my opinion. Yeah. But there's probably going to be more, and I don't necessarily think that they're deserving. It's just I feel like sometimes we get to a point where new ones come up on the list, and they're like, again, it's all percentage of votes, and I think that some are just like, we got to have more than 2 guys go in, so let's throw this guy in.
I can think of maybe not. So I shouldn't say as mediocre as Trevor Lawrence, but Jalen Hurts, 20 years, 30 years. AJ Brown, 20, 30 years.
What if he wins the Super Bowl too?
Yeah. Okay. So if he wins the Super Bowl, these are the things that I'm taking into account. The people that don't win a Super Bowl.
If Trevor Lawrence is on a trajectory, he's not going.
Yes. No. The way he's going right now, he should not be.
He's sliding.
But those are the people that, I don't know, AJ Brown in 20 or 30 years. I'm thinking of the Super Bowl. Xavier Worthy.
Brown is not
not at all. But I could see him reading a book on the sidelines in the playoffs. the charismatic stuff that you need. Like I don't know. It's getting to a bad point. I think. It's just what I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All very good.
So what you said, Larry Fitz is not in it yet, right?
No, see, him and Drew Brees were eligible next year.
Oh, okay. So I think that those two.
3 of those are going. They're in.
They're in. Yeah.
First ballot.
And then you think Eli? Tom hasn't gone in yet.
No, but he's
4.
2 years, right?
2 years.
I think it's only 2.
Where's the time gone?
I think.
Okay, yeah. And then who else? I think. All right. I'm probably gonna get off topic if I start naming.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna get.
So you're saying guys that are recently retired?
Yeah.
Peterson, Adrian.
Oh, AP. Why is he? He's been longer.
He's held on to. He was technically like
eligible. Oh, jeez.
I don't think he officially retired until 3 years.
See, that's the thing. Those are the people that I don't know about that are like on active rosters that in practice squad. People in practice squads. Right. People could get in. Yeah.
He's gonna go first. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to go for him for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, he was the first. I remember growing up. He was the first player I ever actually loved. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't know sports yet, like as well as I do now, and I remember him on the Madden or playing him in Madden. Like he was my first player I actually genuinely loved, and it wasn't a Steeler, it wasn't a Michigan player, it was Adrian Peterson.
Yeah,
and he was just such a fun guy to watch. I know he probably got in a lot of trouble with everything else, but awesome player, awesome freaking player.
So the one thing is like baseball's almost the opposite. I feel like they're pretty good about who they bring in.
Cooperstown feels really good.
What I hate about them is you've had, in the history of Major League Baseball, you've had one fucking guy that was a unanimous choice. One guy. And it was fucking Mariano Rivera. Like, yes, is he a Hall of Famer?
Hell yeah.
But could I see people not voting for him?
Yeah.
Because maybe they take away... Well, he's just a closer. He literally pitches 1 inning.
Right.
I could see somebody making that argument does not do it, right?
Yeah.
But like, you're telling me that Ted Williams wasn't unanimous? Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
those.
And most recently, Derek Jeter, Ichiro.
Oh, the fact that he one vote. He was 1 vote away from unanimous.
There's a lot of guys 1 vote away.
He should have been unanimous.
And some people think that it literally is like. They're trying to be funny in some way.
Yeah.
Like somebody or what happens is like people just do it because they're like, well, they know that this vote's not going to matter, but it's retarded.
Yeah.
Like just
give it to him.
It's a yes or no. He's a Hall of Famer or he's not.
Right.
And nobody
you
can
can't say he's not. Right.
Like
right.
You know, especially if you want to
so right.
Like the whole Pete Rose ban. Like if there's something, or if this guy was a serial wife beater or whatever. Like, I mean, if there were skeletons in his closet, I could see somebody saying no because of that. Mm-hmm. Character-wise, I'm not going to vote for this guy. I could at least understand that.
Yeah.
But I still don't agree with it because you're not voting. This isn't the Hall of Fame of good people.
Right.
This is Major League Baseball. Like, is the guy a Hall of Fame baseball player? I don't give a fuck what he does outside of it.
Right.
He could kill people for all I care.
Yeah.
But was he transcending in the sport and broke records and did all that on the diamond? Yes. Mm-hmm. Then he's in the fucking Hall of Fame. If you want to put him in a, if you get, and there are people that have, I think that like from the late 1800s that got accused of murder or bribery, whatever, been jailed. Like there are criminals. In the Hall of Fame. They are. In all sports, right?
Right.
There is, if you want to put them in a separate fucking room and say, here's guys that have been convicted of felonies, but yes, they were great in a sport, then do that.
Yeah, I guess.
And the same thing with the steroid era. You can.
I love the
Bonds
steroid
should be in a fucking Hall of Fame.
Yes, he should.
McGuire should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, Kurt Schilling, like these people definitely changed the game.
Right.
Did they take performance-enhancing drugs? Yeah.
But there was no better time in baseball than that.
You literally can make an entire fucking wing that says, here's the steroid era. Here's what happened.
But isn't it?
Because almost everybody was fucking doing it.
You can take as much steroid. I'm going to say that right now. You can take as much steroids in the world as you want. There's no one that was ever better than Barry Bonds at getting a barrel to a ball.
Yeah.
There was no one ever better than that.
Steroids still have nothing to do with hand-eye coordination.
Yes. Even all A-Rod, the guys that could hit, the guys could hit.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you took enhancing drugs.
Did it help you, with longevity and staying on the field? Yes.
Yeah. You're recovering so much faster.
But these guys still could have played half their careers.
Yeah.
And still been Hall of Fame players. So
right.
It's just crazy to me.
There's those hitters from those eras of steroids. Those are some of the best hitters that we will ever see.
Yeah.
To do it on the level we saw, yes, Babe Ruth. It's you were probably seeing 70-mile-an-hour pitchers back then. You're not Barry Bonds, A-Rod came up through 93, 94. Now you're getting to 99s. Yes, I understand. But those are the best hitters of all time. And we may ever see all time. I'm still, I think Mike Trout was probably the closest thing that I've seen. The closest thing, and he's always hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe, I'm probably not giving enough credit to,
and you know what? Trout won't be an analyst because some people will be like, "Well, he's never played."
I think he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He should.
Well, he will. He'll be first ballot, but I don't think. But he won't be an analyst because there'll be a writer that'll be like, "Well, he never won the postseason." So,
right. Yeah.
They'll find a reason to not put him in first ballot. Which is it's just crazy.
It's insane.
So speaking of baseball, I want to talk about the Paul Skeens card story.
Yeah.
So, and this was announced months before. I think it was Topps that made it.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to put this it's a one of one, okay, signed card. I don't know if it's a jersey patch or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's a one of one, and Topps was going to randomly insert it in a pack. And the Pirates back then did say, okay, whoever gets this card, we're going to give you season tickets for 30 years, whatever.
Yeah.
And money and a signed jersey and a meet and greet. And I believe a softball game on the field at PNC.
That's insane.
And some other things, right?
Yeah.
Because they want this card back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a 12-year-old, I think, in California ends up with it. And so the Pirates make this offer. Now, this kid lives in California. So what the fuck is he going to do with season tickets behind home plate at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right? He's really going to fly,
right, I know, yeah.
So now, yes, you could take them, you could sell them,
mm-hmm.
And recoup as much money as you can. But he's sitting on a card that's worth, right now, already millions of dollars, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what's really interesting to me, you're talking about a team that prides itself on being profitable. We've got the most beautiful ballpark in all of baseball.
Yeah.
But we don't want to put any fucking money with talent on the field.
Right.
So, but they were going to spend money like this, throw it around, to get a fucking baseball card for a player that's on their team. You can literally tell Topps, create a card of Paul Skeens. We can have him sign it because he's on our fucking team.
Yeah.
And we'll have this one-of-one card. What am I missing here?
Right.
So good for the kid to say, pound salt.
Yeah, I'm
keeping a fucking card.
You should. Yeah.
Which I don't know if he already did it, or I think he talked about maybe putting it on auction. I think Skeens is probably the next Nolan Ryan. I mean, it's looking that way, but in the day and age of Tommy John surgery and shit.
Yeah, I think he's coming.
Maybe he should fucking unload it now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what if? Skeens fucking blows
the value could go down.
It could plummet.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, but it doesn't seem that way. The trajectory seems up, so he probably should.
This is reminding me though.
He's only 12.
It's Steven Strasburg all over again.
Yeah.
What it could have been. He was a 100-mile-an-hour starting pitcher back then. In the era that he was in, it was 2000s, 2010s.
Sure.
And now you see another guy like this throwing 104 as a starting pitcher. I mean, it's just it's coming due to that. Yeah, it's a great point. He could definitely lose value. I didn't even really
could, but
could.
I think that
how big of a name he is now already though. That's another interesting
it's
point.
A one-on-one, and then maybe there's somebody else out there that wants that deal. Maybe there's somebody outside of Pittsburgh that can afford buy a card for $1 million, $2 million, whatever, and take this Pirate deal that might. I don't know. You have to tell me what the math is on 30 years of season tickets behind a plate. I don't know. I don't know what.
God, if it's like the first two seats, right behind the umpire. Like, I don't know, probably.
But you gotta look at it like, unless you're a diehard Pirate fan, like, do you want to watch fucking 30 years of baseball? You know,
no, because
or do you take the $1 million or $2 million or however many $1 million you're gonna get for the card? And go to 1 or 2 games that you want to go to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With that money. So
wow.
I just thought it was crazy.
It is
that they worry about shit like that when they can't put a good.
They should be. Yeah, they should be building a team around breaking signs.
Schemes probably won't even fucking be there in 4 years. So
no, they're not going to afford it.
the way things are going.
Yeah.
So, big NBA trade. I know there was a couple NBA trades, but
the
one that stands out. I wanted your thoughts on Luka to the Lakers.
I'll never forget where I was when it happened. That's how big this trade was.
Yeah.
I mean, for these two to be playing together, Luka was supposed to be the next Dirk for the Mavs. Supposed to retire, put his jersey up, win finals.
The finals last year. I mean, that's and I'll tell you what, this is how ignorant I am with the NBA. Mm-hmm. We talked about this, and I went to a Cavs game. I've been trying to follow it.
Yeah.
Watch a little bit on PTI. I did not realize that Luka had been out since Christmas Day. I didn't even know he was hurt. So
hamstring or whatever
and
else.
This whole weight issue thing, and it sounds like Dallas really was making a long-term decision here. Like it sounds like they really didn't want to give him a max contract, a super max contract, which they would have had to do.
Right. I mean, they kept saying his conditioning is not where we want it to be. He doesn't I think they were thinking he doesn't want to try, but I don't really necessarily think you have to if you're Luka Doncic, especially the way you've been playing over the last 5 or 6 years, making it finals, not winning it, of course, but if you would have put at least 2 more products out there that were anywhere near what you had that year, next year could have been a whole different story for the Mavs. Like this year.
I think, I'm going to surprise you a little bit. Short term, the more I looked into it, because once this trade happened, I wanted to investigate it a little bit. Mm-hmm. Short term, I think Dallas still ends up going further than the Lakers did this year. I think short term, this was better for Dallas.
Okay.
Short term.
Yeah.
Long term, Luka Doncic will eventually win a championship with the Lakers. But I don't necessarily know if LeBron will be there when it happens.
Okay, yeah.
I think this was the Lakers' way of actually, they know LeBron's on the other side, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's coming, right? That eventually is going to be done.
Yeah.
And it'll probably happen overnight because Father Time is undefeated.
I think
So I actually think that the Lakers are they're building around Luka.
Interesting.
Not LeBron.
Right.
And I even question how that's going to work anyway on the court.
Yeah, right.
They both need the ball.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and I don't think it's February and Lucas doesn't play for him, right? I think
he's still out.
So by the time he gets there, they're not going to have a lot of time. The West is already 5 through 12 seeds are really
they're really
and right now the Lakers I think are 4 or 5.
They're 4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah, so they're right there. They're probably going to be all right. But the West is loaded. I just question what will happen this year. I could be wrong.
Especially
maybe they make a run.
Right, especially now with Anthony Davis, he left, of course, in that trade. But now they're bringing a guy like Mike Williams from the Charlotte, and he's a top 3 center in the league when he's healthy. Mm-hmm. Right now. So if they can get healthy, I feel like watch out. All they needed, especially because, and Anthony Davis always said this, when they won in the bubble, when they won in 2020, they actually had a center and he got to play the 4.
Sure.
When he was able to play the 4 and not the 5, they win more games. And it's true. He is a dominant 4, and he's a stretch 4, and he should be. He was always that player, even through Kentucky up to where he is now, through the Pelicans era, everything. And now that you bring in Mike, you have Luka, you have LeBron who can play the 4 anyways. Now you have Mike as a stretch 5. It is freaking. Yeah. I feel like it's this year. I'm going to kind of take off a little bit here. I don't know if I'm too crazy to think about this, but if they can get healthy enough before April, the end of April, when it starts playoffs and everything else, they could win the whole thing this year. Depends on how good they can play. I don't know how their team chemistry is going to be. Like you said, there's a lot. Each player wants their own set of time with the ball. I don't know how it's going to go. I think LeBron's ready, though, to take a little step back and let Luka, if he's healthy enough, take him all the way.
Okay.
I just think that Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss from the Lakers, they want to see LeBron win one more, and they're trying to give it to him. It's now or never. So, and you're right. I think Father Time after this year for him, I think he's done. Okay. I think LeBron is done no matter what after this year. He said it last night.
I don't think anybody's giving up Columbus any less anyway.
Man, it's going to be – the West is going to be crazy now.
It is.
It's crazy.
And that's why I think it's going to be tough for them to even just get out of that first round.
Yeah. And Chet is back now, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's back playing. So.
And more than likely they stay somewhere in that 4 or 5 seed. They're looking at Oklahoma City in the second round anyway. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm still going to stick with my Thunder pick out of the West. The other team I would watch out for, maybe not this year.
Yeah.
They still need to grow. But if they can get one more really, really good piece, I love the Aaron Fox going to San Antonio.
Oh, my God. What a pick.
Spurs will be back.
Yeah. If they can keep CP3, I know he's old, but all he does is facilitate the ball beautifully. And if he can keep doing that with the players they have now, watch out. Yeah. And the Cavs, I wanted to shout out the Cavs. We got DeAndre Hunter as a 3.
It was a big pick. They only had to give up a couple second-round picks.
Yeah.
LeVert, who never played.
I mean, it looks like the Cavs are trying to win this year. I don't know if – I think the Twin Towers are enough. Evan Mobley down low, and now DeAndre – I mean, it's now – I feel like it's for them, too. It's now or never. Yep. I really do. I don't know.
To me, it's going to be them in the Celtics.
I think now with the addition, I did not think we could beat the Celtics. But now, just maybe. Maybe. Yeah. The Karis LeVert's gone, so...
Do you think Jimmy Butler will work in Golden State?
No. He thinks he's going to bring a championship in the next 3 years. He's not doing that.
No.
He's not doing it this year. They're like barely 500, I think, right now.
Yeah,
so
they're buried. And again, we just talked about how good the West is. And teams around them only got that.
Yeah. He's got to hope for a play-in. He's got to hope that they can play good enough to get in the play-in and then try and make it. Because I just don't see it right now. But I don't know. It's such a bad locker room culture with him. He's got to fix his ways. He did this now with the Heat, and then he did it with the 76ers, right? Yeah. It was so bad. And it's yeah. So we'll see how this can go, I guess. But
college basketball, I got any updates there?
Ryan Hart with the Wolverines right now, man. We only have 5 or 6 losses, I think.
I think it's 5. It's 17-5.
Yeah. Dusty May's the way. All I can say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing what a college basketball coach can do.
Talk things like Mahomes.
Yeah.
Whiny
voice. Yeah. I do love his locker room talk after he's done. After they get done winning.
There's only 4 teams that are still undefeated in conference play. You want to take a stab at who those 4 are?
Ooh.
Division 1.
Not Tennessee.
Nope.
Not Florida.
There is an SEC team though.
Kentucky.
No.
Damn.
Kentucky's lost like 4 in a row.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Arkansas.
Nope.
Damn.
No, Arkansas. I don't even think Arkansas has a winning record in the conference. They did beat Kentucky.
They beat Kentucky the other night. Calipari finally got his stuff.
Yep. They're the number 1 team in the country. You should know that.
Who's the number 1 team?
You think about them as a football school.
Bama.
No.
Who is this?
Bo Jackson, Charles Barkley, alma mater. Bama's rival. Wow.
Georgia.
No.
Who is it? I don't know who the number 1 team is.
It's War Eagle. Auburn. Yeah.
Auburn's number 1 right now?
Auburn is the number 1.
Yeah, you can see how much I'm not really paying attention to right now. I'm watching more NBA than I am college.
Michigan. Yeah, you are watching Michigan. Keeping up on them.
I am trying to keep up.
Bruce Pearl, he's kind of like the Urban Meyer.
Basketball,
though. He's always got something swirling around.
He's always got
some controversy.
Yeah.
And he's gotten hammered before. Duke, which is really no surprise. Cooper Flag.
Yeah, there's studs over there. Yeah.
The other 2, you could probably sit here for an hour and try to guess. It wouldn't come up with it. But you got an Ivy League school in there. Got Yale. So even though they lost Danny Wolf to Michigan, in the transfer portal, Yale is still undefeated in the Ivy League. And a team that we're going to go see live on the 18th that I've seen
Zips
3 times this year already. The Akron Zips.
Wow. Wow.
So after
that's impressive.
And I tell you what, they lost Enrique Freeman last year, who I was saying, the 2 years I was watching, I'm like, this dude's going to go to the NBA.
Yeah.
And he did. He not only got to the NBA, he got drafted, which again, NBA only 2 rounds. So that's a big deal. And he's not just there; he's contributing to the Pacers. So he's only going to get better. So you would think sometimes, and they were a senior-laden team last year, but sometimes when you have a superstar like that, you get super focused on their play. This team is averaging 83 points a game right now, okay?
Yeah.
And nobody is scoring more than 13.3.
Damn.
And they got 83. So they're just, everybody gets double digits.
Oh, my God.
The guys coming off the bench. This might be a better team this year than it was last year, even though they lost really two studs. One guy, can't think of his name right now, he went over to Europe, but they're good. They're really good.
I'm very excited now.
Yeah, to see they're giving away the Enrique Freeman jersey.
Yeah, huge. That's an awesome one.
Awesome. So Auburn, Yale, Duke, Akron.
That's insane. Yeah, sorry, I can't believe I don't watch a lot of college basketball. Right
undefeated
now.
in conference play.
Yeah.
But Auburn is number one. So
yeah.
Right now, too, I think I saw Joe Lenardi. The 4 number 1 seeds right now, 3 of them are SEC. The SEC is kicking ass.
Damn.
In college basketball this year. So you've got, I think it's Auburn, Alabama, and Tennessee. Each have number 1 seeds. They're projected, and then Duke's got the other one. So
wow.
So speaking of college basketball, I had given you this trivia. I think you guessed maybe 1 or 2. I think you got 2 of them.
Yeah.
So in the last, and I forget what it is now. I think it's the last 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give it to me again.
I think it was the last 10 years or 15 years.
I'm gonna get it right now.
Actually, you know what it was? It's been since the college football playoffs. Since they went, and this obviously we're talking about 14 playoff.
Yeah.
Since they went to a 14 playoff, and now it's 12.
Okay.
There's only 5 schools that have both made a Final Four and a college football playoff. Who are the 5 schools?
Michigan.
Michigan's one. And you only have to go about 45 minutes north to get the other one. To get another one.
Really?
Little brother.
Yeah, really?
Michigan State made a playoff. They got blasted, but they made a college football.
They made a college football. Okay, Michigan State, Michigan.
Yep. Michigan State. There's one more Big Ten team, but they're new to the Big Ten.
UCLA.
No.
Oregon.
And then you've got, well, again, technically two SEC teams, but one of them is new to the SEC.
Texas.
It's not Texas.
Of course. Of course it's not.
It is their
Oklahoma
rival though. Yep. Oh yeah.
And then 5.
So one more.
Bama.
SEC, Alabama.
Bama. Thank you. All right.
Oklahoma, Oregon, Michigan,
that
State, Alabama.
Is a list.
Only 5 schools that have made both the Final Four and a college football.
That is a list right there. That is really cool.
And if you want to throw in the Final Four for the Frozen Four, then there's only 2 schools. Michigan, and Michigan
State. Probably Michigan State.
So
the cold teams.
And Michigan State is the number 1 team in the country this year as well.
Wow.
So Michigan plays them tonight.
We should have won.
At East Lansing and then tomorrow Detroit. So,
that's so cool.
And Michigan's kind of fighting for their playoff line.
Yeah, it feels like we're not.
They're ranked like 12th, but they have like a. Can't remember what the rankings is called. Damn, the name's escaping me. But there's like a formula like ranking, and they're at the bottom right now, and really, like as if the announcement was today without any conference tournaments, they would get in based on these rankings. But what happens is if a team, it's like conference tournaments, right? Like if a seed, low seed wins it takes a bubble team spot away, right? It's that same theory.
Oh, okay.
So if one of the teams that are ranked outside this top 16 win a conference tournament, then the teams start sliding down.
Yeah.
So that's where Michigan's at right now. If they can get a sweep this week against the number 1 team, that'll probably give them enough points they'd probably be okay.
Yeah.
But the way things stand right now, their best shot is probably winning the Big Ten, or at least making the championship game.
Right.
And they got to play the number 2 team in the country next weekend.
Damn.
The Gophers. So this is a big 2 weeks for
Minnesota's always
Michigan
good.
hockey. They're always good. Yeah.
They're always good.
The last thing I had was, obviously, I want to get your thoughts on our boy Crying Ryan Day getting extended.
Yeah.
So we went from 2 months ago, death threats to his family, want to run him out of town.
Can't be here anymore.
He wins a fucking national championship, and now we got 7 more years on it. So now I think it was added 3 to his contract.
Yeah.
At $12.5 million annually. My first gut is I don't think he finishes the 7, and not necessarily because I think Michigan is going to beat him every year.
No, right.
But I do think that he's not going to win 7 more.
No.
He's going to lose. I think he's going to lose next year.
I do too.
Again.
I do too.
And then we'll be right back, into that boat. So I think,
I
feel like the pressure. It might only take 1 more game for him to either say "fuck it," you're gonna have to buy me out, I'm going to the NFL,
right?
Or Ohio State gets rid of him, whatever it is. I think they're looking at a buyout. I think it was a thank you for winning the national championship. I think it's a Hail Mary of sorts to try to change the trajectory of the way the series is going.
Mm-hmm.
Because what do they have to lose a little bit?
Yeah.
Like maybe it's their way of saying, okay, we're behind you, and we need you to have all the confidence in the world when you go play these guys next year.
Mm-hmm.
So go fucking beat them, for the love of God. You know?
Yeah.
So like maybe I think that's what I feel like if they don't extend him after winning the title, then he's looking over his shoulder a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was their way of saying we're behind you, but I think the message is like, you fucking better win this game.
You better, yeah. It is. It's a better win than Michigan game, because we talked about it all last year how it's not going to matter anymore. But for him right now, it is so much. It
still matters to the fan base.
Yeah.
Like there's still not as many. I mean, most of them were off that ball. It was championship or
yeah, and right.
And they got it. So and a lot of them, retracted from that and said, "Okay, I'm over it," because he won the national championship. And yes, that's actually the way it should be. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Like if you told me that we were going to lose to Ohio State every year but win the national title, whatever. Yeah. Like fucking beat us all you want. Like I want to beat you when it matters, or I want to win the whole damn thing. Yeah. Right. So I agree with it. Does it I would prefer to win it. Like I love the fact that we went undefeated. Mm-hmm. I would rather hang on to that, but that's a great consolation prize if you don't win the game.
Yeah,
is to win the national championship. So I think that we are in his head a little bit. We're only going to get better. This was the year to definitely destroy us.
Right,
and they couldn't do it. So
you have to win it this year, and I don't know if you have enough of it. The people, even if it's not fine, if we lose this year, fine. But in the next few years after that, the recruiting class from this year was just insane.
There was a writer. I don't know I can't remember if I sent it to you. There was a writer that's predicting, and this is I can't even believe there's a line on this game already. There's give me a break. Like, we don't know who the fuck staying, going, coming, whatever. Yeah. I don't even think there should be rankings until week 3 or 4. I don't like it. So we've seen no football being played, and we're trying to do preseason polls. Yeah, come on. There was a writer that said not only will Michigan beat Ohio State again, he has us beating them in the first round of the playoffs. Which, number one, I don't think this year they seeded it to what they wanted matchups to be. Yeah, that was very, very apparent. Okay. Right. So they didn't necessarily rank, okay, here's the 12 best teams and rank them 1 through 12. And you couldn't do that because of the automatic buys and shit like that. But even from 5 to 12, where you could have ranked those teams left on who was, the top 7, right? They didn't really do it. They kind of made matchups that they wanted. Yeah. I think there's zero chance that they would make Michigan Ohio State play in the first round. I just don't. Because they could have done, they had Indiana go to Notre Dame. Yeah. Instead of... They wanted to see Indiana. Indiana did not play Penn State. So you easily could have had a conference matchup. Mm-hmm. But they avoided that. They should have done it. And they could have done it. So I don't think they're necessarily... They have, in this guy's prediction, he's got Michigan beating Ohio State. But then he has the seeding as Ohio State 9, Michigan 8. Which tells me, obviously, going into the game, he had us... maybe on the outside looking in, or at least 12 or 13 or whatever we would have been. And then Ohio State must have been in the top probably 5. Yeah. And then when we beat them, okay, we got seeded ahead of them, got another home game, and supposedly beat them again. Now, here's the funny thing. I told you before that whoever wins the regular season game, and I don't care if it's this year, next year, 10 years from now, right? Whoever wins the regular season game, I will predict, and mark my words, that the loser wins the fucking rematch in the playoff, no matter which way it goes. Okay. And I don't care who was home or who was away. Yeah. If we're gonna play each other a second time, especially God forbid in the first round when it's a couple weeks away, it's if sit players out. If whatever team took everything they took to win, then they're gonna fucking know everything that you did to win that game, and they're gonna completely shut it down and take it away from you. Right. I mean, look at Ohio State to Oregon, And that was months away that they played each other. So they look like 2 different fucking teams. It was crazy. Yeah. So I would, if you're telling me that it's going to happen or is that possibility, I'd much rather lose the regular season game. Right. And then get them in a rematch. But I guess, yeah. I agree, I think. I mean, I'm never going to root against it. I'm always going to root for the win in the regular season.
Yeah.
And worry about it in the playoff, and just hope that we avoid them. You know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I don't think they don't have a quarterback next year. They finally got Hartline the offensive coordinator job, which I don't even know he's that good of a play caller, to be honest with you.
You know, I kind of like him. I think that was a decent move.
No, I mean he should be an offense coordinator somewhere.
It's definitely going to be interesting, though, the turnover they had.
Yes,
because you can't argue with the fact that they did win a national championship, and Ohio State's defense has been very, very good for years. And even though Michigan won that game, I mean they shut us down. I mean we only had 30 points, so it wasn't really the defense's fault. And even Sawyer, I mean they made plays. I mean the defense definitely kept them in it.
Yeah.
So, and they won most of those playoff games based on the defense, in my opinion. So
they definitely had the best defense in the country.
I think with Knowles going to Penn State, I actually think Penn State might win Big Ten next year. I think Ohio State's going to be down. I think Penn State finally.
If they play us, they're not
going
to
them next year.
I don't think
even in Columbus. I think Penn State wins that game.
Yeah.
I also think Ohio State's going to lose to Texas, and I think they're going to lose to us. I think they're going to have 3 losses. And they might still get in.
They probably could.
But, I mean, they're definitely going on the road at that point.
Yeah.
But I think Penn State, you know, they're too tough. They don't play Michigan again.
Mm-hmm.
They do have to go to Ohio State, but with everybody coming back, and Ohio State kind of turning over some guys, you know, they could have easily beat them this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a close game, right?
Yeah.
So Jim Knowles may know some things.
He knows a lot, I think.
And give some feedback, and I think it's a good sign for them.
Yeah. Could Penn State win the whole thing?
They get Oregon at home.
Yeah.
And Oregon is, you know, obviously ushering in a new quarterback, and they got some turnover as well. So I don't know.
I think Penn State has a great shot to make it all the way.
Yeah.
I think Georgia's probably going to have a great team again, even though they didn't have it last year. But Georgia will be back. I think it can be those two.
Yeah.
All the way. And Texas has some things to figure out with Arch. I think he's going to be a great player. But
I think Texas is going to be good.
I think they are too, but I got to see Arch play.
If they can start out the year beating Ohio State and Columbus, that could be huge.
Yeah.
Huge jumping point. So.
Yeah.
Let's take one more last break and then we'll do our Super Bowl prediction.
All right, sounds good.